Hey guys, welcome to Conceptual Geometry, Lesson 4.10, Translations. Translate the following figures 3 spaces to the right and 2 spaces down. So what we're going to do is take this quadrilateral, take each vertex and move it 3 spaces to the right and 2 spaces down. And we'll do that one vertex at a time. So I'll start with A. Right 3, down 2, A prime, go right there. What are the coordinates of A prime? Take a look at the graph. It looks like it's -1, -1. Okay, let's do the same thing for B. 3 spaces to the right, down 2, B prime goes there. Those coordinates would be 0, 1. C prime, right 3, down 2, goes there. Those coordinates are 2, 0. And D prime, right 3, down 2, goes right there. Those coordinates are 3, -2. Okay, so let's connect the vertices, and we'll see we get a quadrilateral that's the exact same size and shape as the original. Also, I want you to notice this notation. Capital T is a translation. And these numbers here tell you where to move. So in this particular case, that 3 meant right 3, and that -2 meant down 2. Also, I want you to notice going from A to A prime, I went from a -4 to a -1. That's adding 3. That's this number right here. And the same thing can be done to all of these. -3 plus 3 is 0. -1 plus 3 is 2. 0 plus 3 is 3. So it looks like we just take this first number here and we add it to all the x's. Then you can take this number, the -2, and combine that with all the y's, and you end up with -1, 1, 0, and -2. So we're going to use that to come up with our rule for a translation. The rule for a translation is x plus a, y plus b. And you can just think of adding. So you'll be given a translation with an x component and a y component, and all you do is you add those to the x and to the y. All right. First example. It says write xy is mapped to x minus 4, comma, y plus 2 using a transformation rule. So what we need to do is figure out, well, what's this doing? It's just subtracting 4 from the x and adding 2 to the y. This is very simple. It's a translation, so capital T, -4, comma, 2. Number 2, it says use the rule xy is mapped to x plus 4, y minus 6 to find the image of the given point. So for each one of these points, I'm going to add 4 to the x, and then I'll subtract 6 from the y. Okay, so here I'll add 4 to the x and subtract 6 from the y. So my new coordinate here would be 7 plus 4 is 11. 2 minus 6 is -4. All right, part B, let's do the same thing. Add 4 to the x, subtract 6 from the y. Well, that's kind of neat. What happens there is they both cancel. I get 0, 0. And part C, add 4 to the x, subtract 6 from the y. My new coordinate, -8 plus 4 is -4. -1 and -6 is -7. All right, next, find the image of the point 4, -3 under the given translation. So now I'm going to start with the same point for each one of these, but change the translation. Well, it's a similar concept. I will have 4, -3, and then I'll have to add that to the x and add that to the y. So what I'll do here is I'll just bring down 4, -3. -4 and 4 is 0. 6 and -3 is 3. So that would be 0, 3. Okay, if I bring my point 4, -3 here, 7 and 4 is 11. 2 and -3 is -1. So that's 11, -1. And the last one, bring down the point 4, -3 here. -2 and 4 is +2. And -8, -3 is -11. So that's how you do those. All right, let's turn the page. Find the rule for the transformation so that the image of A is A prime. So this is where it gets a little bit more challenging because I know I have to come up with a translation, but I have to figure out what did I add to the x to get the new x, and that would go here. And then you figure out what did I add to the y to get the new y, and that would go second. Okay, so first, 1 plus what is 0? Well, that's a -1. So -1 has to go first. Then 3 plus what is 8? That's plus 5. So then the second component is 5. That's a translation of -1, 5. Okay, number 8, it's going to be a translation. -2 plus what is -7. So I decreased 5, so that's a -5. That's your x component. And then -6 went to a 3. So I actually added 9 there. So the y component is 9. That's a translation of -5, 9. Question 5 kind of builds on this concept. All right, it gives me a translation and then wants me to apply it to another point. So it says here, state the translation. So as you look at this, what did we do? I added 3 to the x, and I subtracted 5 from the y. So that would be a translation of 3, -5. So there's the first part. Now I need to find the new image. So I'll take the 3, add it to the x. I'll take the -5 and add it to the y. So that'd be a +3, and that's going to be a -5. What's the new coordinate? Q prime. 7 plus 3 is 10. 2 minus 5 is -3. All right, number 6. Under a given translation, the image of 4, 2 is 6, -6. State the translation, then find the image of each under that translation. The first thing I need to do is determine what is the translation. So 4 plus what is 6? All right, so 4 plus 2 is 6. The first one would be a 2. 2 plus what is -6? So you actually decreased 8, -8. So there's the translation. Now I need to apply this to all of these. Okay, so I add 2 to the x, and I subtract 8 from the y. So my new coordinate here would be 7, -7. This one, add 2 to the x, subtract 8 from the y. That would be a -1, -4. And this one, add 2 to the x, subtract 8 from the y. What do we have there? -8, -10. All right, last one. This is the multi-step problem. Probably what you'll see on your exam. The coordinates of the vertices of quadrilateral wash are W is 2, -2. So let me plot that real quick. There's W. A is 0, 1. Okay, there's A. S is 3, 4. There's S. And H is 5, 1. Okay, so now let's connect those vertices. Now what we are going to do is I want to find the image of that after a translation of -3, 2. There's a couple different methods for doing this. One of them is to get the coordinates first, then graph the coordinates. The other method is to graph it first, then write down the coordinates. And it doesn't matter which way you do this, you need to have both things, so order doesn't matter. Well, if I'm going to be visual, I need to understand that that first number is right or left. So since it's a -3, that means left 3. The second number controls your up or down. If it's positive, that means up. So that would be up 2. So if you want to graph it first, you would come down here, you would take each one of these coordinates, you go left 3, up 2, and then plot the new point for each one of those. See how that kind of works? And that's what I'll do first here. You don't have to do it this way, but I'll go take this point A, go left 3, up 2, so there's A prime. Take S, left 3, up 2, doesn't matter what order you do this in. Take your W, left 3, up 2. So W prime goes there. And take your H, left 3, up 2. And there's your H prime. Now connect those. When you're done, what you should notice is that your new quadrilateral should be the exact same size and shape as the original. So now what I need to do is write down the coordinates. W prime, A prime, S prime, and H prime. Now let me show you another method if you want to do this first. Right? If you want to do this part first, you would take these x coordinates of our original points and you'd have to add a -3 to each one of those. Okay, so let me do that. 2, I'll start with W. 2 minus 3 is a -1. Go to the A. 0 minus 3 is -3. S. 3 minus 3 is 0. And then the H. 5 minus 3 is 2. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take the 2 and add it to all the y coordinates. Okay, so let's do that. -2 plus 2 is 0. Go to the A. 1 plus 2 is 3. Go to the S. 4 plus 2 is 6. Go to the H. 1 plus 2 is 3. Now you can compare if you wanted to do it this way. This has to match that coordinate, and it does. -1, 0. This has to match that coordinate. -3, 3. It does. And then you could compare the other two, but I know that they match. Okay? Now, what I need to do is I need to state the coordinates of wash double prime, the image of wash prime. So notice we have 2 quadrilaterals now on my grid. I have to move one of them. Which one do I move? This one. So I'm dealing with the red quadrilateral. This translation is 7, -1. So for this one, I'll state the coordinates first. W double prime, A double prime, S double prime, and H double prime. So what I want to do next is I want to take the 7 and add it to all of these x values up here. Okay, so -1 plus 7 is 6. Go to the A prime. -3 plus 7 is 4. The S prime, 0 plus 7 is 7. And then the H prime, 2 plus 7 is 9. Then what I need to do is take the y component, -1, and add that to all of these y coordinates. Okay, so 0 minus 1 is -1. 3 minus 1 is 2. 6 minus 1 is 5. 3 minus 1 is 2. So that goes kind of quickly. Or you could realize that a translation of 7, 1 means write 7 down 1. So you could take each of these coordinates in the red quad, move them right 7, down 1. Right 7, down 1. Okay, obviously I'm just kind of estimating there. And then get the coordinates. I'll just use these coordinates I got here. So W double prime is 6, -1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, -1. There's W double prime. A double prime is 4, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, up 2. There's A double prime. S double prime is 7, 5. So 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's S double prime. And H double prime is 9, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2. Now these diagrams can get a little bit cluttered. It helps on mine because I have the different colors, but you can clearly see how each one of these quadrilaterals is the exact same size and shape. So I know I've done it correctly. The last part of this lesson, question you're going to see many times now, is they'll say, what single transformation would take the original one, which is blue, to the green one? So there's a couple ways you can do this. Number one, you can just compare the W's. What did we do? I went right 4, up 1. Right 4, up 1. Both of those would be positive. So this answer is a translation of 4, 1. That's how you could get it visually, right? Just count. The other way this works, and it's kind of neat, is you could actually use algebra. You know, here they are. You know what the two translations are, and you would just have to add those together. So watch how this works. The first one is a translation of -3, 2. So I'll take a translation, -3, 2, and to that I'll add the second one, which is a translation of 7, -1. Well, look what happens. You just add the x component to the x component. So what's a -3 plus 7? That's 4. Add the y component to the y component. 2 minus 1, that's 1. I don't care how you get this. You can use the graph, or you can add these two together. But you have to be able to come up with that one translation that takes the first shape to the last shape. Okay, guys, that concludes day 10. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, and thanks a lot for watching.